People who have disowned their parents. What was your final straw? Growing up, my parents coddled me like I was some kind of miracle boy. Every little thing I did was celebrated, and everything I wanted was handed to me. Mediocre grades meant getting taken out to my favorite restaurants, and I had a weekly allowance of $35 at 6 years old. They posted every detail about my life on Facebook, bragging about me like I was their prized possession. But the problem was, I wasn't their only kid. My sister Ava was 3 years younger than me, and she was the total opposite in their eyes. A failure, a screw-up, deserving of nothing. Some of their friends didn't even know Ava existed. That's how little they talked about her. But the thing was, Ava was amazing. She was better than me at school, sports, making friends, but my parents didn't care. They didn't just not care either. They'd force her to lose her friends or drop her grades, so I don't feel ashamed. It hurt her a lot. Every time I looked in her eyes, she was on the verge of crying. So when I was 8, I sat her down, and Pinky promised her that from today, I'd be the best big brother ever. And so from that day on, every time she brought home a good grade, I'd hype her up and use my allowance to buy her ice cream. I'd persuade our parents into going to her games by saying that I wanted to go. Every time our parents dismissed her achievements, I'd be the first one there, clapping for her and making her feel like every child should feel, loved, heard, and seen. Our bond grew extremely strong over the years, but then tragedy struck. I was coming home from my first year of college, and my parents had planned a huge celebration for my 19th birthday. I told them I didn't want all that, but they never listened, just kept planning everything for me. I told them again, I didn't care about that. The thing I wanted most was to spend time with Ava again. She was 16 now, bright and full of life, despite everything she went through. They just chuckled at me, saying, why would I want to spend time with their reject little sister? I ignored them. A few days before my birthday, Ava came bouncing into my room, holding the scrapbook she'd been making for months. She showed me pages filled with pictures and memories from our childhood. It's not finished yet, she said, smiling proudly. I still need a few more things to make it perfect. I hugged her tight. And then, just 3 days before the party, it happened. Ava was in a horrible car accident on her way to get art supplies for the scrapbook. She didn't make it. I collapsed to the floor when I heard, crying so hard it felt like my soul was tearing apart. And all my parents could do was exchange a cold glance. My mother's first words were, we'll need to adjust the birthday arrangements. The days after felt surreal. My parents mechanically arranged a sparse funeral, barely seeming to register what had happened. Instead, they obsessed over the details of my birthday party. When I begged them to cancel, my mom just said cheerfully, life goes on. Ava wouldn't want us to cancel your special day. But all I saw was them spending more time choosing my birthday cake than Ava's coffin. Cleaning out her room was unbearable. I sat in the middle of her floor, surrounded by her clothes and art supplies, tears streaming down my face. That's when I found her diary. Every page broke me a little more, reading about how deeply she felt our parents' rejection, but never blaming me. Max is the only one who sees me, she wrote. He makes me feel like I matter. The scrapbook was there too, unfinished. At the funeral, I gave a eulogy that left everyone in tears, everyone except our parents who stood there, expressionless. Afterward, Dad pulled me aside, whispering, let's put this behind us. We have your birthday dinner reservations at 7. I felt sick to my stomach. On my birthday, the house was decorated lavishly. My parents handed me expensive gifts and revealed a huge cake reading, our perfect son. I sat there numb with grief until Mom chirped, enough moping, Max. Ava had her day yesterday. Today is about you. It was like getting punched in the gut. I stood up, shaking with anger and sadness, asking how they could possibly celebrate. My father calmly replied, we've always known you were special. Ava understood her place. That's when something snapped inside me. I exploded, telling them exactly how Ava felt, unloved, invisible, and how I spent my entire life trying to shield her from their cruelty. My mother rolled her eyes, calling it teenage dramatics, while Dad shrugged and said, let's focus on the positive. We still have you. Tears blurred my vision. I grabbed the cake and hurled it against the wall. I can't do this, I said, my voice shaking. Mom started theatrically sobbing, accusing me of betrayal, while Dad threatened to cut me off financially. I stared at them coldly and said, you already cut me off in every way that matters. I packed my things, my hands trembling, and took Ava's scrapbook and diary, the only things left worth keeping, and headed out. Or at least I tried, because my mother blocked me. You're not leaving, she yelled. I couldn't tell you what happened next in this video. The rest of the story is on my channel and linked below.